Again, opening a bit larger into the recreationals from the button. From early position, I think it's not that advisable, but when you know that you have position, you're guaranteed. I think opening larger makes sense. The queen jack off, being out of position and deeper, I think this hand is a fold against someone who's not really doesn't really like to fold to 3 bets. And the 8-6 bottom pair with a redraw, we can just check back, call the turns very comfortably. Turn, nothing, no big real decision. We'll just always be checking back. I'm probably calling on the river. We see another really quick checkout. We go really thin for value there, but I think 8-6 is just too weak. It's just gonna be a check, and we win against 9-5, which unfortunately didn't bluff. So definitely also take a note on that. To know that he's, you know, the passive type of guy. Jack 9. Going for a small c-bet on a good board for me. Turning a flush draw, definitely going to barrel. I don't want him to jam on me, so I think best is just going for a normal sizing on a turn. The ace-10 multi-way I will check. Again, I'll zoom in if something interesting happens, but seems quite standard for now. On the turn, I think we have the option between checking again or going for a small bet. I think I like small bet given how passive these guys were. We get one call, very interesting. This is a run out where I'm not too thrilled to be bluffing, as I think his jack X will get really sticky. Also his weaker ace X, they're never really going to fold. So I think a large overbet is the best play here, and kind of say, well, getting the max in a spot where it looks like we might be quite bluff heavy, but unfortunately this time he didn't have a pair, it seems. Sevens on table 1, we're a bit deeper, so I think we can call that one. Looks to be a rather tight guy who's not bluffing a lot and rather sticky, so we'll keep that in mind going forward. And we see a very, very quick check on a board where you can definitely have some c-bets. My hand is mainly a check back in theory. What hands would check really quickly? 10s, 9s, and ace-king make a lot of sense, and I think against that range we have a lot of information going forward. So I'm just going to start with a check back. We see another very, very quick check, so I think going for a small bet, getting some value from ace-king, and getting to a cheap showdown against 10s and 9s is good here. So that's what I will do here. We get a very quick call, and I think now we're just checking back. We're losing against 10s and 9s, but I think most of the time we just got some value against ace-king, and can now hopefully take this to showdown. Or ace-queen, yeah, makes a lot of sense. Again, his timing tells we're giving us a lot of information there. So yeah, let's see if we have some more interesting hands coming up. The 6-deuce hand here was a limped pot, and I took a stab on the turn and will now be bluffing the river for a slight overbet here. Queen completing straws, definitely a scare card, but unfortunately this time he rivered the queen, so he's never folding that. But yeah, I wanted also to mention that it's very unlikely he has a queen, so I think this sizing is gonna work really well. Down on table 4, we face a 3x open, going to 3-bet. 7s can go either way, but I think 3-betting is fine. Here we see a call, and I'm gonna start with a small c-bet. We could also start with a check, but I think a small c-bet is fine on a board that's fairly decent for me. And we see a raise, and I think the best option is just to fold. This is definitely an overbluffed line, but I think calling 7s here with the plan of, you know, having to call down is a bit too ambitious with us. His bluffs still have a lot of equity against our hand here, and it's really tough to improve or keep the best hand. And I'm not planning on, you know, bluffing this type of player later on in the hand with 7s. So I think best is just to fold. Alright, we have another interesting hand on table 1, where with kings against the recreational, going to 3x 3-bet in position, hoping to see some action behind or a call. I see a 4-bet, very standard, just getting it all in, especially against such a large sizing, hoping to fade the aces. And nope, this time we do just run into aces. We have one king and one king only, but that's not it. So we lose a stack there. Opening in sevens now on table 4. Into also quite a big whale in the small blind. We get 3-bet here. Sevens, these pocket pairs out of position on the river, they're quite borderline between call and folding. Anyway, we see a slight size up. Guy seems to be on the tighter side for now, so I think unless the recreational gets involved, the best play here is to just fold. The queen 6 suited definitely isolating here on table 3 against the limb from the small blind. On average, my hand will be doing well enough against his range, and on the flop we have an interesting option between c-bet or checking. I think hands that have the potential to go for 3 streets of value, I definitely always start with a bet. But hands like this one, I'd rather check behind and have 2 very comfortable calls. Expecting him to lead out with too much random shit too often. There's a lot of potential draws. If I had a stronger hand like queen 10, queen 9 also raise is an option. Even this hand we could raise to check back some ugly rivers, but I think he will still bluff too much. So I'd rather call, even though I know the river is gonna be ugly. Sometimes we river the straight, which is obviously great. Raising against small bets and probably just calling against larger ones, as he can definitely have flushes in his range, and we still need to get called by worse. He's in a tank here and decides to check. Very interesting. Here having the queen is not great. We block a lot of the hands that we want to get called by. He could have like a 7x of clubs here that we can get potentially called by. So I will go for medium sizing and hope he calls. Maybe he rivered a 2-pair and decided to get tricky with it. But yeah, I expect him to mainly just fold here. We have another hand right away, opening the jacks into the short stack recreational, who seems to be in the tighter side. And we're playing heads up against the button. On a board like this, I'll just start with a range check. Low and connected and monotone. Gonna play this quite passively. See a pot size bet. This is already quite ugly here. And I'm honestly thinking about folding right away. It's probably a bit insane, but we don't really have a nice redraw. We could be drawing that, and if he has sets, we're drawing fairly slim. So I think folding is actually the best play. And on table 1, we're gonna open the pocket trees and flop a set, which is obviously amazing. And basically just trying to get the stacks in with a strong hand like pocket 5. So I'm just gonna size up right away. Yeah, we're planning of just going geometric direction all in. Really important here that you size up with your strong hands and don't go for smaller bets here. On table 2, we opened the button, play against the big blind, who seems to be a regular, so a bit more of a standard spot here. You can use 25-40%, both are fine here. Gonna pick the 40%. I think I isolated the cutoff here, so it might be a bit different than a normal single raise pot. We go for a bet, we get the 9, and our plan is now to check. Get to showdown / potentially still value bet the river, but obviously never betting the turn here. Having the king of spades is not the greatest in terms of bluff catching, as he will definitely bluff, although now it is a better card. Very interesting. We also have the option of bluff raising now. It's not that easy for him to have enough bluffs here on this river. I think I like a bluff raise here on this river, somewhere around this. We block some of his strongest 2 pairs and flushes that he can have with the turn, like hands like 6-9 or queen 9. Plus it's very unlikely he's bluffing. Well, we don't block any bluffs, which is great too, and we can put a lot of pressure on queen x hands. or even potentially some weak 2 pairs like 6-5, and we do get it through this time. Down here we opened, it got called by the big blind and the button. If you see a bet multi-way, you can go either way here, but I think just check calling is fine. This board is gonna change quite a bit, like and run out like this one, so we don't want to put in too much money in out of position. And then I think river we have a very comfortable block bet, potentially even large bet, get called by all the weaker ace-x hands, which I don't think will bluff raise enough. Yeah. And we did get called by ace-10, perfect. Similar story on table 2 where I isolated the limp with, you know, hand I could definitely also check behind, but I think it's fine. And then went for c-bet and going for an overbet now on a really good turn for us, picking up the equity where we have all the strong hands. He doesn't really have many of the strong hands, but nonetheless we do see a call. Very interesting. Now with the option of bluffing through on the river or not. It's not the greatest after we went for an overbet here. I think it's gonna be on the sticky side, but I think it's still worth to try and steal the pot here for maybe like a 6x of diamonds, deuce x of diamonds, some, you know, combo draw, a big king that got sticky in the turn. I don't think he's folding an ace here all that often. And unfortunately we do get called by a king, which is what I was hoping would potentially fold to the third barrel. Have a quick look at the results as well, as I know you guys like this. So seems like pretty solid steady session. We have these 2 lucky all-ins right at the start, and then just bit ups and downs. Not too much interesting stuff going on. Got the kings against the aces, where we lost 1 more stack. So yeah, let's pull this one in so you guys can see it. In big blinds we won close to 2 buy-ins, and in currency around 18 bucks. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and catch you for the next one. Bye.